Cool stuff. Ink. Get it? It's ink from a pen. Who writes this? Go to coolstuffinc.com, links in the description, and use code CMO for 5% off. CGB, buddy, do you remember the Dingus egg that you showed me in like our very first video we did together?
I was just sorting some magic cards. I was working on my complete set of 4th edition, and I found a Dingus egg, and every single time I do, I think of you.
I swear to God, if I go to a Magic Fest or anything, everyone's going to make me sign Dingus egg. That's just going to become a thing.
If you leave your house, they should make you sign Dingus egg.
That's true. That's very true. So I decided I'm going to get some Dingus eggs of our own. I pulled cards that are, let's just say, questionable cards that may or may not have gotten hit on our banned and restricted list at some point. Your goal, I'm gonna make it very easy. We fried your brain last episode when you had to try to find lethal, so I'm gonna take it easy on you this week.
Thank you.
Your goal, you just have to decide if the card got hit at all, banned, limited, semi-limited, or not. So 50-50, a guaranteed 50-50 shot on every card. Are you ready?
Oh yeah, this is familiar territory, but I'm surprised it took this long to do a Weirdo Bands episode, because that was one of my favorites, was making you rate Dingus egg.
So I'm gonna tell you this, put on your Yu-Gi-Oh! 1 hat. I'm not gonna be showing you any Yu-Gi-Oh! 2 stuff here. So definitely, we're going to be looking at a lot of old cards today, and as Dingus Egg also is for Magic, so I think it's appropriate. Let's start with this guy.
Abyss Soldier, level 4, attack 1800, defense 1300, aqua effect. Once per turn. It says once per turn, it's fine.
It's Yu-Gi-Oh! 1. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! 1. So
back then, they didn't do this. All right. You can discard 1 water monster to the graveyard to target 1 card on the field and return it to the hand. You can discard 1 water monster to the graveyard to target 1 card on the field and return it to the hand.
Now remember, some of these are bait, and are totally fine at 3 copies, but some of them actually have served time in the prison at some point. It's up to you to figure it out.
It says once per turn, but is that there's the thing, right? The hard once per turn?
Yes, this is a soft once per turn. So hypothetically,
per turn.
If you have multiple copies of Abyss Soldier in play, you could use this effect up to the number of times you have Abyss Soldier in play.
It can return itself.
It can. It says target a card. Yep.
And if you play it again, it treats itself as a new card, or does the once per turn apply?
It is a soft once per turn. It's considered a new copy, so you could do it again.
Well, we've successfully discarded our hand.
Good. Okay.
Not the best. Not the best.
That is a nombo if I've ever heard it. Yep.
So how do you break this? Whenever a monster enters, you draw a card would break it. You would draw your deck. Whenever a monster enters, you're also putting it in the graveyard. So that's milling your deck. Okay, so if you're drawing a card, you mill your deck. And then if you have 1 card that's like target opponent takes damage equal to the amount of stuff in graveyard, you get that thing and they die. All right, so you need a way to draw a card each time this enters. Is that, I don't know. I feel like Magic has a number of these. I'm trying to think of a Yu-Gi-Oh card that did that, and I can't think of one.
What are you looking for specifically?
I'm looking for a card in Yu-Gi-Oh that says whenever you play a monster, or like whenever you play this, I guess you only get 1 normal summon a turn, right?
You do. Yep.
Oh,
I was about to say,
well then,
I'm like,
okay.
I was about to say, I'm like, I think you're overcooking with this one, but okay.
So you also need a way to summon it multiple times. I don't see that either. All right, so what else if it doesn't go infinite easily, like that's what that's where I start with like weird cards that got banned.
To help you out, Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't have infinite combos. Like, it's very rare that we do. So you can take that part out of the equation.
In Magic, I'd be looking at this as a combo piece. So I'm having a good time trying to
find
it.
I mean, it is a blue card. It is water. So, you know, it's blue. And it bounces. That's very blue, you know, so.
Yes. All right, so what else would make this broken? Old Yu-Gi-Oh had a number of cards get restricted or banned that just returned something from graveyard to battlefield. So this is like potentially cheat out any water monster?
Theoretically,
I guess.
If you have an extra card to cheat it out, yeah.
Yeah, is that unique? Does that change things? Is that so unique? That doesn't seem that unique for Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Seems to love that stuff. Yeah, man. Okay, what's the thing I may have missed? What is he gonna say?
You're talking about me trying to metagame it. Look at you.
Target one card on the field and return it to the hand.
I'm just saying this card could be bad. Like,
it could be. It seems. So there's enough. There are some alarm bells on it. The lack of the hard once per turn, and it can target itself, but it doesn't appear to be loopy.
Sure. I mean, again, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! 1, so it's, you know, it's a lot slower.
I guess it's not a quick effect either.
It is not a quick. Like I said, quick effects were very rare in old Yu-Gi-Oh!
Why would this get banned?
Why would it? Great question, CGP. Great question. What a great question you asked.
So, but that's. I don't want to be the. I don't look at this guy. Look at this. Look at this weirdo. I do not want this to be my dingus. All right. I don't want to get got by this thing and be signing Abyss Soldiers, okay?
You have to consider, though, it could be limited. It could have gotten semi-limited as well. So, you know, but that all is included in it got hit in some capacity. So I'm making sure you're aware of that. It's not just banned. Could be anywhere on the list.
In Magic, we had a creature called Waterfront Bouncer. It was 1 in a blue, and for 1 blue, you tapped it, discarded a card, and returned target creature to its owner's hand.
That's very similar.
Very similar card. It was very good in specific formats, but it never had to be hit in any way. It was annoying as hell, but only in very small formats and for a very specific window of time. If this got hit in any way because people got annoyed with it bouncing their stuff, that will be some of the most soft, just, oh my God. If I, like the hand thing, you know, revealing the hand pisses me off. If this thing bouncing stuff got it limited, I'm going to be so mad.
Coming from the one,
so soft.
You know, I was talking about, you're talking about being soft, yet you show me that commander that is, everyone's complaining it doesn't kill them quick enough. So that's funny. But anyway.
I can't do it. I mean, I can see... if there's a combo, I'm missing it, and you'll tell me.
Do you want a combo? Do you want a combo?
No, do I? I don't know. You tell me. Will you feel like we did the video right without this? Okay.
I'll give you some context. Sure. This card was legal at the same time.
Oh, I remember this card. If this card is in your graveyard, you can return it to your hand. This card meant that you always had, and it's water. It is. You always had the thing to discard. So every turn you bounce a card, somewhat for free. I mean, that's still like
I'm just showing you a combo. I'm just showing you a combo.
No, that does make this, I think that makes this playable.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
The only other way I would see this as playable without that is if you were literally just trying to reanimate a big monster on turn 1, which I could see it, sure. But
do you want to see a big monster you can reanimate?
Yeah, we're here to see Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I'm just going to say yes to everything. I'm a yes guy now. Levia Dragon Daedalus? Daedalus. That's a level 7. Probably doesn't matter. Attack 2600, probably huge for its time. You can send 1 face-up Umi you control to the graveyard to destroy all other cards on the field. Sure. Let's go. Where's the Umis at?
Do you want to see Umi? I can show you Umi. It's
I don't need to. I'm pretty sure it's just a little. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's just some little level monster.
It's the ocean. No, it's not even a monster. It's the ocean.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm wrong. All right, I'm getting curious. This is it's a spell. It's a is that a continuous spell? What
field
kind of
spell?
No, it's not. What is that? A field spell. Thank you.
Yep. So this just stays out on the field. It's like a continuous spell. Just stays out until something affects it.
It's a buff.
It's a buff.
It's a buff. Yep. And a little bit of a hate piece because it makes machines and pyros do less.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It gain 200 attack defense and machine and pyros like lose it. Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know. I haven't seen many of these kind of like typal creature buffs because we have so much of that in Magic.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! 1. Yu-Gi-Oh! 1, it's more common for sure. Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Not as much.
Oh yeah, you and I are very much like don't buff your types. Make your types good to begin with.
I mean, kind of. Yeah.
All right. I mean, that's cool, dude. How much weaker is Yu-Gi-Oh! 1 if this was a problem? Because this just looks cool to me.
It was cool. It was cool. It was cool. Yeah.
Did it have to be slowed down? Did it have to be nerfed? I guess I could see it being frustrating.
Or am I just laying the biggest trail of breadcrumbs for you?
I played Master Duel, okay? And Master Duel was pretty slow in those starter decks, so I could see this feeling oppressive, but I still can't do it.
Think about that level of speed for Yu-Gi-Oh! 1, because that's kind of where it's at.
Yeah, and this might have made the game incredibly annoying, because I just don't see this kind of interaction very often in the old cards. Like the every single turn getting to make these plays might have felt kind of helpless. But that said, everything has haste, so just play something, attack this, and kill it.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, it's sorcery speed. I can't.
It's sorcery speed?
I can't do it. Nope. This is my Dingus egg. I read the card. I know it's shit, and I not shit, but you know what I mean? I know it's not that level, and I can't do it. I can't ban it. I can't do it.
Abyss Soldier was semi-limited for several formats for reasons that no one knows.
Wow.
I wouldn't say this card's particularly oppressive. I will say the Sinister Serpent combo is something that could be annoying. There are instances in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where if you have the tempo advantage, if your opponent is setting monsters because they don't have a way to run over Abyss Soldier or kill it with a card effect, like a kill spell, you're just gonna get back your Sinister Serpent or whatever water monster and just pitch and just rebounce it to their hand and hit for 1800. And they still don't have an answer. They set a card, you pitch a card, hit for 1800. And that's annoying, sure, but it's not like oppressive, I feel like, even by old Yu-Gi-Oh! Standards. So why was this card semi-restricted? Who the hell knows?
Okay, at least we're starting off with a mystery.
We are. They're all mysteries.
Magic cards wherever.
They're all mysteries because they don't tell us anything about why certain cards are banned or not.
This is the Konami commandments. You just roll with it.
Literally.
Okay.
Levia Dragon is cool. This is like more of like a playground card / combo with like being able to nuke your opponent's board with Umi. There's plenty of ways to search Umi, so that's like not really an issue whatsoever. Really just like, it was kind of just this classic, like very Yu-Gi-Oh! Looking card, and I think it came in like a structure deck, so a lot of people had access to it. Abyss Soldier was also, it was a water structure deck, so all these cards are basically included in there. Levia Dragon never saw like competitive play. It was very much a playground card of like, oh, I get to blow up the whole board, crazy, and then you just lose because it's not very good. But yeah, that's the story of our good old friend Abyss Soldier here.
Is it still limited anywhere?
No, they semi-restricted for like 2 ban lists, and then it's been at 3 ever since. So.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so barely tapped.
Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
Whoever did that just had a personal problem.
Yep, this is the type of cards you're going to have to deal with in this video, so have fun. Here's your next one.
It made their lunch hour games take too long.
Honestly, that's probably it. Yeah, I think you figured it out.
Emergency provisions. We got some crackers and we got some spam. This is delightful. This is a spell. And it says, send any number of other spell and trap cards you control to the graveyard. Gain 1,000 life points for each card sent to the graveyard this way. Does that include from the deck or the hand?
You control has to be on the field. Has to be from the field.
So you're telling me if your whole back row is full, you can gain 5,000 life points and literally
4
throw
doesn't
those
count
cards
itself
in the trash? So it needs a spot to be cast.
Correct. Okay. So there's only 5 spots. So at max, you could get 4,000 life points off.
It's even worse than I thought. Why? How?
Great question.
How?
Great question. There's no way they hit this card, right? There's no way they hit this card.
Is there some kind of a Yu-Gi-Oh! Stack thing where like you can trigger all these spell or trap cards and then in response also do this and get all upside?
Yes. So hypothetically, let's say you have 4 copies of a card that you can just flip up and it just like draws you a card. Say it's like a cantrip. You could go Chain Link 1, that card, Chain Link 2, that card, Chain Link 3, that card, Chain Link 4, that card, Chain Link 5, Emergency Provisions, send all those cards to the graveyard. Their effects are already on the stack, so when the chain resolves going backwards, they will still draw you a card for each one, and you're gaining 1,000 life points per.
They draw you a card?
Well, no. I said, like, if you just have, like, 4 trap cards that are just a cantrip, like, you activate it to draw a card.
That's all they do. Okay.
Like, I would just give you a hypothetical example.
To give me an example. Yes,
right. Yes.
Does that make this a thing? It's life gain.
It's just life gain.
If they do that and you get all the effects, still, wouldn't wouldn't you just rather have that 5th card be another cantrip?
Great question.
This
card could be bad. I'm just saying. This card could be, I mean, well, it could be bad and still hit, but I mean, it could just suck. I mean, it's fine. It could just be totally fine.
It's you control. Okay. Is it common to have continuous spell or trap cards that have like floodgates, like negative effects on you that you might just want to remove from the field anyway?
Yeah, because I would say most floodgates are reciprocal. It's not usually one-sided most of the time. Sometimes they're one-sided, but most of the time they're reciprocal. But you would build your deck in such a way where it's like you don't get affected by it. But like hypothetically, if there is something that's like a floodgate that's sitting on the field, whether it's doing something or not that's proactive for you, emergency provisions could get rid of it. You get some life points and it gets it off the field. Yeah,
in like Magic, there have been times where like a certain kind of combo deck is so popular. Say you play a floodgate card that says each player can only cast 1 spell, right? And then, and the combo deck requires you to cast like 20 spells in a turn. So you bring that in against your opponent, and then you put it on the field, even though you need it to go away to win, but you control that timing. So on the end of your opponent's turn, you would emergency provisions, untap, and on your turn go off. Like that's a Magic play pattern that could happen. Those who remember, I just found a card in my collection, Disrupting Scepter, which is an artifact that taps to destroy target permanent you own, and you literally used it to blow up your own stasis back in the day to end stasis locks. Magic players know what I'm talking about. Like it was very stupid back in the day. So I'm like looking at this as a Disrupting Scepter, but none of those ever had to be banned or restricted. They were all silly things you could do.
This video is great. I love this video. This is fun.
There's a card in Magic that's like bounce your whole board and draw a card for each card that you bounced, and that card is good in the right deck, and that let you draw like a bunch of cards. This doesn't draw you cards. It just gains you life. This card has to be terrible. It has to be.
Could be the Dingus egg. Could be the Dingus egg.
It could be, but that is the point of the episode. I understand. And maybe you'll have to sell me on a combo that is like whenever you gain life, it also.
Do you want me to sell you on a combo?
Or you draw that many cards. I kind of don't because I know your tricks, but sure. Let's do it for the video, for the people. Mirage of Nightmare spell card. That's continuous. Once per turn during your opponent's standby phase, draw until you have 4 cards in hand. If you do, once during your next standby phase, randomly discard the same number of cards you drew. Okay, and I think you've shown me cards like this before with kind of this delayed payback. We talked about cards that removed it before that would happen.
Correct. So if you Mirage of Nightmare during your opponent's standby phase, you draw, let's say you have 0 cards in hand, you draw 4. Next turn, during your standby phase, Emergency Provisions is a quick play spell. Before Mirage of Nightmare resolves, you activate Emergency Provisions to tribute Mirage of Nightmare, gain 1,000 life points, and now you get to keep the other 3 cards in your hand.
Is that aren't cards like this the problem then? Like clearly, right? I feel like there will always probably be a way to tribute, sacrifice, destroy, remove, or even blow up the whole board to avoid the negative effects. Like this is as old as card games. This is Magic the Gathering. Use Nevinril's Disc and Necropotence. You draw a bunch of cards, and when you run out of life, you blow up the Necropotence and go back to drawing like normal and negate the downside. None of this is weird. All of this has been done. The emergency provisions isn't the problem. The problem is the card that says draw 4 on it. There'll always be another way to remove this. If they did something to provisions, they'll just have to do something to another totally normal card in the future. I can't do it. This video is going to be a nightmare. It's going to be me standing on business. It's going to be me standing up for a principle. I'm not doing it. I'm not restricting this garbage emergency provisions card. I'm not doing it.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Emergency Provisions was semi-limited for longer than Abyss Soldier.
Jesus Christ.
Why? I couldn't tell you. This is the only combo I could think of why they would hit this card in some capacity, even though there was other cards that basically did the same thing that were better than this card. It's a mystery. I couldn't tell you why, but it was semi-restricted for 3 formats, and then it's been at 3 ever since because this card is fucking terrible.
I'm so right. I'm just so right, but
out of principle, you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it.
I can't do it. I can't do it. This video is going to be a nightmare.
A Mirage of Nightmare?
I'm going to go 0 for whatever number you've pulled.
All right, let's see if you go 0 for 3.
Ceasefire. Yeah, we got a trap card. Change all face down defense position monsters on the field to face up defense position. Flip effects are not activated. Also inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each effect monster on the field. How do you determine effect monster? Just not vanilla?
Correct. So basically,
geez. So
vanillas and so vanillas have their own border. If you didn't notice, vanillas have like a tannish kind of like sandy colored border, and effect monsters have an orange border. So it's very obvious to know which one is which.
Basically, they take 500 damage for each monster on their field.
Basically, because no one's playing. In old Yu-Gi-Oh, there was a couple vanillas that got played because the trade-off was some of them had higher stats, and the trade-off was they had no effect. So they were used as like beaters, but very rare that you would see that.
And how many monsters can you have? How many spaces? Like 5?
Each player has 5, correct.
How does this card make any sense flavor-wise? How do you call for a ceasefire and then each monster on your board turns around and tail swipes you in the face for calling a ceasefire?
Maybe that's the point.
What is that supposed to mean?
Maybe that's the point.
Change all face down to face up. I guess how important were flip effects is a good question. And I remember a lot. I remember the jars. I remember a lot of jars.
In old Yu-Gi-Oh, they're definitely more common. Modern Yu-Gi-Oh, they're awful for the most part, unless like an entire archetype is centralized around that mechanic, so they make it broken. Not broken, maybe just good. Like for instance, they actually just recently released an archetype. They are all flip monsters, and it's fine. It's not like meta or anything. It's like more rogue. But in old Yu-Gi-Oh, flip effects were quite good. And again, the game was slow enough that they would actually flip up. So that's like more importantly.
And I guess it hoses a type of card pretty hard. And
it does kind of.
If your opponent, if you have like flip draw 2, if that were like just a thing.
That doesn't exist.
Legal. Yeah, okay.
But you know the jars. So the jars are draw 5. But you discard your whole hand. So like that's a thing.
But why
there's
would
also
protect draw 5. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. There's also like there's one that's like flip, destroy a monster. There's flip, add a spell or trap from your graveyard to the hand. There's a wide array of different flip effects for sure.
I guess so. The thing that stands out to me is they were so protective of you having your secrets, of like the opponent getting to see your hand was so brutal back in the day, that maybe they also applied the same to your face downs, which made you able to attack like correctly. And also the opponent takes 500 damage for each monster. So maybe this was like maybe this was such a game ending effect when it, like, say you're aggressive and you get ahead. So the opponent sets their defense position monsters and then you drop this and it was like their only way to get back in the game. And this just like puts them away, right? It's just over.
Seems
so
situational. But yeah,
it seems it's definitely situational, and it's still a terrible name for the card in that case, because Ceasefire is the opposite of what's about to happen to you. You are about to get absolutely mercilessly destroyed. The flip effects not being activated is also like that to me is like the kind of the counter spell hidden inside the card to me.
Sure,
like
I mean, you could also just destroy the monster before it flips, and it also doesn't trigger. So I mean, it's not like this is the only way to stop that from happening.
Yeah. How about burn? Like, how common is it to deal, like, if you're going face, what, can you give me an example of a face spell rate? Yeah.
What's a good rate for a burn spell? It really depends on the card. I would say a lot of the burn cards are conditional on like certain factors. Kind of like this, right? Where it like, depending on how many monsters are on the field, dictate like how much damage you do.
Yeah, sure, but
if you want just like a generic burn spell that has like no stipulations tied to it, you're looking at like 800 to 1,000 damage. So like an eighth of their life total. If you're looking at stuff that has conditions, I mean, the average could be like anywhere from like 1,000 to 1,500, but then obviously with like Ceasefire could go way higher than that, hypothetically.
Yeah, on the so I'm reading this and it says each effect monster on the field, that includes yours.
Correct.
So if you build out a board, then that's 2,500, and if the opponent had even 3, that's like 4,000 damage. Mm-hmm. And if you have if you do fill out your board with effect monsters and their cards are in defensive position, they're probably very likely to die.
Sure.
Sounds like GG.
But I will say, as a counter to that, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! 1. So going like and having 5 monsters on your board is not very common. Like you would be like probably winning that game regardless.
But that's the thing. That's all under the assumption we have 1 Ceasefire. As soon as you have 2, so that to me is like, okay, if this one card can represent up to half your opponent's life total, then someone somewhere got double Ceasefired and was like, well, that ain't right.
Sure.
So that seems to me like a person could make a logical leap to restrict it. Like that solves the problem of a critical mass of these just kills people out of nowhere, makes the game feel anticlimactic. So
do you think it was hit?
I mean, I at least can see a case for it. Do I think it should be hit? Absolutely not. This card's, it's
that's every card in this video. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very much going to be a person who's like, you should deal with that board. But I can see a case for it of some people getting very salty about a double or a triple Ceasefire or a consistency of Ceasefire that's too much. So yeah, sure, restrict this card. Don't get burned out from 8,000 by Ceasefire. Also, by the way, the flavor makes no sense, so that's a good reason too.
Thank you for repeating yourself for the 4th time. Final answer. You're on the board, CGB. You are on the board. So Ceasefire, you actually nailed it. Ceasefire, I think, has one of the highest potential upsides of a burn card damage threshold in the entire game. I don't think there is a singular burn spell in the game that can do 5,000 damage. Even like in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, there might be like monster effects that can do that much damage more recently, but especially for old Yu-Gi-Oh, again, for the most part, old Yu-Gi-Oh, maybe you have like 1 or 2 guys on the field, maybe your opponent has 1 or 2 guys on the field. It was very hard to like fill out a board. But even if you're just burning your opponent for 2,000 as a burn player, you are super happy about that, because again, that is like essentially 2 burn spells worth of damage in a singular card. Not to mention the part that it says it negates flip effects, or it says flip effects are not activated, was actually quite good in old Yu-Gi-Oh. It was a card that there was plenty of cards you would not want your opponent to flip up to activate. And so the fact that this card basically was a way to counter that while also having the upside of burning them a little bit, made it a pretty aggressive card in that sense. So Ceasefire, believe it or not, actually got restricted to a singular copy for quite some time, as a matter of fact. I think it was restricted for, oh my god, how long actually? I want to say it was like 10 years?
By the way, while you're checking, I just want to say I finally get the flavor. The game ends. The game's over.
That's honestly, yeah, that's the Ceasefire. The game's just over.
Nobody's playing anymore. The war is won.
Ceasefire did not go, so it was limited up until, it was limited for 8 years. And then it was semi-restricted for 3 years after that. It only came back to 3 in 2018. That's crazy. I did not realize it was actually that long. So it took 16 years for this card to go back at 3 copies. Arguably, this is one of the best burn spells in old Yu-Gi-Oh! Which is, or burn traps, if you will. Which is why it got restricted. Very good card. Only Burn would play this, though. You wouldn't play... I think some decks in old Yu-Gi-Oh! Would side deck this card, potentially, if there were certain matchups, because there were some degenerate flip-based decks in old Yu-Gi-Oh! Some people would side this card, but for the most part, you would not see this main decked unless you were playing against a Burn player. Unless you're playing like a super, super aggressive beatdown deck, then maybe they would play Ceasefire main deck, but for the most part, no one really main decked this card unless it was a Burn player. So you're on the board, CGB. You are on the board. Congratulations.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of hell, here you go.
Oh, yeah. I totally knew that was coming. Hellpoemer.
Yep, Hellpoemer.
5, level 5 dark, 2000 attack, 1400 defense, fiend. Oh, I know now there are fiend things. Cannot be special summoned from the graveyard. If this card was destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, this effect activates at the end of each of your opponent's battle phases. Discard 1 random card from your opponent's hand. This card must be in the graveyard to activate and to resolve this effect. If this card was destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, this effect activates at the end of each of your opponent's battle phases. That doesn't mean for the rest of the game.
Oh, it does.
It does? Discard one random card from your opponent's for the rest of the game?
As long as it's in the graveyard.
Uh-huh.
So if you hypothetically exile it from the graveyard or shuffle it back into the deck or something like that, then it no longer activates. As long as it's in the graveyard, if it was killed by battle, every one of your opponent's battle phases or combat phases, they have to discard a card randomly at the end.
Well, immediately it's like, no matter what, this card breaks even if it goes like to a battle phase.
I feel like as a control player, you would love this card.
I mean, it's brutal. So on my turn, I can play this, attack it into something, get it destroyed.
Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. I'm impressed.
This thing's just going to happen. Now, how bad is that? The opponent, like we're in a game where the opponent can set traps and they can set spells and they can set monsters and everything's free. So if they just set out their whole hand, then they avoid the effect.
But that's if they can.
But that's if they can. Not only that, it's like now they're exposed and you suck them in and then you blow up their everything and this is still in the graveyard. Oh God. And then if you have two of these, I assume it just keeps happening in multiples.
Very perceptive.
Oh my God.
Yu-Gi-Oh's great, huh?
This is the best card you've shown me. So it probably never got banned. What a video. Oh, meta. You
The mental
shown me
gymnastics.
A card this good.
The mental gymnastics.
God, making the opponent go hellbent. That's what it's called in Magic. There's a mechanic called hellbent. If your hand is empty, you get an effect. So going hellbent is what they call it in Magic when you just play your whole hand.
I'll let you know, I don't think... There are a couple cards that, like, if you have no cards in hand, do a thing, but it's not, like, a mechanic or, like, that's very common, I would say. There's very few cards that do that.
This forces interaction with the graveyard, too. At least you can't just tutor it into the graveyard and get the effect.
Yeah, that would be a bit crazy.
That would be really busted.
I think if that were the case, this card would be a lot better.
And it is a level 5, so you have to tribute summon it. That's something, at least. At least
It has a little bit of a cost.
You get it back if they have a card in their hand at the end of their next battle phase.
It definitely has... It pays off in dividends in the long run, for sure.
What is the game like if both the players have this card? Multiples of this card.
Miserable.
Jesus Christ. So yeah, I honestly, my first read meta on the situation is this card is busted, therefore this card is fine.
It's
They've
Yu-Gi-Oh!
never
1,
touched
though.
it.
It's
That's
not
my
Yu-Gi-Oh!
first
2.
read.
This isn't Yu-Gi-Oh! 2.
I know. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with my gut that this got hit. I'm going there for sure. But just the meta of this video, 100%, I'm like, I know right where Simo wants this to go. But I'm not playing your meta games. I'm going right where I'm going with my gut. This card is gross. This card is brutal. And in Yu-Gi-Oh! 2, this ain't much of a card because why would the game last 2 turns? That's stupid.
Exactly.
But back then, just the idea of like this reminds me of so many old Magic cards that would never be printed again. And like Mind Twist is an old Magic card that had to be banned, and it's like, Man Twist is better than this. But Hypnotic Spectre back in the day was a card like this. Dude, Hypnotic Spectre was busted back in the day. It was so good. So sure, we'll go with it.
Got hit? Final answer?
Yeah.
Would you believe if I told you this card is bad?
Would I believe that if you said that? I guess I could see it because in my head, it's possible that you could just set out your whole hand and like this wouldn't pay off.
Well, this card is bad and it was never touched. You should have gone with your other instinct.
Okay.
So,
it's so mean though.
Let's talk about Hellpoemer. Hellpoemer was a pseudo boss monster of one of the villains in the show. The biggest issue with Hellpoemer, one, it requires a tribute summon, which is like not the end of the world, but like in old Yu-Gi-Oh, it's kind of taking up your whole turn to do that. So like it is what it is. Surprisingly, it's harder than you think to get this effect to trigger because it seems simple where it just has to die by battle and you have some agency. If they have a big guy, you summon this, you can crash into it to trigger it. Yu-Gi-Oh, even old Yu-Gi-Oh has so much removal. The chances that this is going to connect are so low without it dying to like a combat trick that just kills it. Just like there's so many things that just deal with this thing that make it don't go to the graveyard by battle specifically.
Wow. Really? So like that's like instant speed?
Yeah, like
removal?
trap cards.
Like
Yeah,
just, like,
trap cards
traps and
are.
spells that killed stuff was that popular back then. It really was more like magic. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's actually just kind of hard to get this thing to meet its trigger, to be honest. And when you compare it alongside the other premier 1 tribute monsters back in the day, I'm talking about like Jinzo or Air Knight Parshath or a Monarch, depending on like what time you're like looking at. You'd rather just play the cards that are going to be way higher value. Like, there are tribute summons that, like, destroy spell and trap cards on summon, or destroy monsters, or negate all trap cards on the field, or draw you cards. Like, you would rather just play those than hope that this guy dies so that you can rip cards out of your opponent's hand every single turn. I'm not going to say the effect is, like, bad in the sense that, like, ripping a card every battle phase in old Yu-Gi-Oh! Is probably pretty brutal. But like you figured out, you can also, if your hand is spells and traps, just set all your cards, and now your opponent's not going to be ripping anything. There's another card that is a discard type of effect. I think I may have showed it to you before, but I don't recall. That was the play. Like, if they had that card in play, it has to attack you directly for you to rip a card out of your hand. So people would play around this card by just setting their whole hand, and then they just wouldn't lose anything. If they were able to do that. If you have a hand of 5 monsters, you're just fucked. I mean, that's just how it is.
Ta-da!
It was just, it was a cool anime card, and that's about all Hellpoemer was. But the
Gotcha.
art's sick.
All right.
The art's sick, though. It gets that.
All right, removal was still a thing. Got it.
Yeah.
It wasn't tied to every creature. People played cards to do it. Okay.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, obviously, like, it's the whole Dies to Doomblade argument. It's like, oh, like, that doesn't, you know, always hold up. But, yeah, it's just like, you'd rather just play better cards that are more efficient, that, like, are guaranteed to go off. Where this guy was not guaranteed to go off. And I think that was the biggest problem with him. But, like you said, if you could set up multiple in the graveyard, then you're ripping, like, 2 or 3 cards a turn. Like, that can get kind of crazy. But that never happened.
Never.
All right, next card. You're gonna
restricted, and I was right.
Yeah, anyway, here's your next card. You're gonna like this one. Trust me, you're gonna like this card.
Messenger of Peace. Yeah, I bet no combat. Here we go. Spell. Continuous. Monsters with 1,500 or more attack cannot declare an attack. Nailed it. Once per turn during your standby phase, pay 100 life points or destroy this card. Yeah, this card's great.
I bet you'd like it. I thought that's how I picked it for you.
There's no way. There's no way. Come on.
Look at the cards that have been on the list so far. You're saying there's no way.
No way.
Emergency Provisions was on
There's no way. Here's the thing. It's not even good in multiples. Like,
Nope.
the resource here is the life points. It's not the...
Well-
like, I mean, unless you're talking about destroying this.
Yeah,
But,
it's
like,
only
if you-
it's only good in multiples if you're trying to protect, like, to make sure it stays up, right?
Yeah, you could do that, but like... And 100 life points isn't much. That's very low.
And
Like,
honestly, everyone laughs at the cost of this card. Like, why does it even have a cost if it's going to be 100 life points? Like, basically, it may as well not even have a cost at all.
But seriously, it's a continuous spell card. Like,
Yeah, uh-huh.
remove it or be patient or something. But am I going to add this to the list because emergency provisions? Somebody just wanted their lunch hour to end quicker. And there was that one guy always playing Messenger of Peace and being like, dude, I got to get back to work. Nah, I'm here for a good time and a long time.
That's what you like.
Yeah, I'd play this card. I also
Oh,
have
I
my
know
own
you.
boss.
Oh, I know you'd play this card. Oh, yeah.
I don't have a boss. My time is mine. Man, let me think. Is there a magic card like this that got banned or restricted?
I mean, the equivalent would be what? It's an enchantment that says monsters with 3 or more attack can't declare an attack, and you pay 1 life a turn to keep it up.
I mean, there are cards in Magic that do this, something like this, like, and they don't even have that 100 life points. Enchantments and artifacts.
But are Yu-Gi-Oh players babies? That's the real question.
Yes, but that's also not always a good key. Card game players are babies. I'll just go on. I'll live on that.
That's
hill
true.
and
I would
die
agree with
on
that.
it.
Like us.
We're even worse. We're
That's true.
content
We're
creator
content
card
creators.
gamers.
We're the actual
We c-
babies.
Yes, we are actually S-tier babies.
Yep.
Oh, our job's hard. Oh, our card game is hard. Oh, we don't understand the decisions being made about our card game. Oh. So, Messenger of Peace.
We're the
huh?
loudest babies, if anything.
Yeah, our complaint equity is so high.
Yeah, I agree.
There's no way I can do this. Can I? Can I get rid of this card?
I knew this would be a good one to pick.
And that is why it's probably fine, because you knew I'd react this way. You knew it. You knew in your heart how I would feel. If this card were banned, you would have shown me this sooner. No, this isn't banned. This is fine.
So Messenger of Peace has seen pretty much most of its... Actually, it's had a really interesting trajectory. Initially, it was kind of just exclusively played in, like, burn or stall decks, that just... mill decks, stun decks, lots of control decks, obviously. Funny enough, in Yu-Gi-Oh, there's plenty of monsters under 1500 attack that are just, like, still good enough that it can pressure you to, like, still die. Like, there are plenty... there's a lot of, especially in old Yu-Gi-Oh, there's a lot of, like, 1400 attack point monsters that just barely edge under this, that, like, are still a lot of pressure for the opponent. That's, like, a 6-turn clock. It's, like, a 3-turn clock if you have 2 of them. So sometimes Messenger of Peace, like, wasn't even, like, that good. Kind of depended on the decks. Funny enough, it wasn't, like, relatively recent, but, like, within the past couple years, there was actually some people playing Messenger of Peace in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, of all things.
Dude, it's the power creep, baby. The more powerful they get, the more they walk into our trap.
I forget the exact context, but, like, there was a player or several players that were side decking Messenger of Peace. I actually think it was in the runic deck that you thoroughly enjoyed. I think they were playing it in that deck of all things, because that's very much a very strong control deck. And having Messenger of Peace meant that they could just make sure that the game lasted even longer. And that was, like, the whole strategy was to, like, mill you out or just completely out-resource you. So they actually started playing this card in, like, modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Of all things, like, no one ever thought that would be the case. So it's even seen, like, relatively modern play of all, within the past couple years. Yeah, you're right. This card's fine.
Woo! Nailed it. Hey, good job, Yu-Gi-Oh! You guys, I'm proud of you. Not banning this Messenger of Peace and realizing you could just play some smaller monsters and attack with those as well. That's good. That shows growth. You're not complaining too much about Messenger of Peace. We're proud of you.
The 100 life point cost, too, is just very fucking hilarious. Like, everyone... Like, it literally, you would deck out before you'd run out of life points with Messenger of Peace. Like, that's, if it was like 500 or even like 300, then it's like, okay, there's a little bit of a cost here. 100 is laughable. It is so funny that even exists. Like you said, in Magic, you have cards that are similar to this that have no, like, upkeep costs. Look, it's you, Raren, and I.
Oh, hey, damn it, why'd you have to say that? Oh my god. Oh my god, this is... Are you trying to will into existence some, like, meme altar card?
I will plead the fifth that maybe my editor has already done this when I showed this card to Raren.
Oh my god, okay, Ojama Trio. Okay, it's a trap. Yep, that checks out. Special summon 3 Ojama tokens. These are beast type light, level 2, attack 0, defense 1000. To your opponent's field in defense position. It cannot be tributed for a tribute summon, and each time one is destroyed, its controller takes 300 damage. How many? You get 5 spots, you said?
Yeah, 5 zones. Yep.
And they cannot be tributed?
They cannot be tributed.
For a tribute summon?
Correct.
Okay. Wow.
You putting it together?
I think you're just, in Hearthstone, you're board locking your opponent here. Yeah, that's very mean. So I can definitely see a case immediately that, like, if your hand has 2 of these and you just go trio, then the opponent can't play any monsters.
You can't play 2 of them because it does special summon 3 tokens, and if your opponent only has 2 board spots, you cannot activate this card.
Okay, but as soon as they get rid of 1, or you attack 1.
Here you go.
Ground Collapse is a spell, a continuous one. Select 2 main monster zones on the field. Neither player can use the selected zones. You cannot select the zone that is occupied by a monster card. So you would give up 2 of your zones and they give up 2 of theirs?
Oh, no. You only pick 2 zones, period.
Total? Oh, so of course you pick your opponents.
Correct. There you go.
It doesn't even have a downside to you. So turn 1, you can board lock them out of playing monsters at all.
Correct.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure that if it can't be tributed and then they can't play anything at all, See, that does kind of defeat the idea of this being bad in multiples, but you can still, I believe, attack one of these. The opponent takes 300, and then you play another trio, and then
you can do that
again.
You can do that. Yep, that's a play.
I think ground collapse is just pretty meh, but the trio is nasty. Trying to think, can the opponent attack with these?
They can.
Okay. So you want to be careful, but if you play the trio and the ground collapse, there's nothing to attack. And if it's in defense position, does it attack for 1,000?
You would turn it to attack position. They have 0 attack.
It can't attack. Okay. It can't attack in defense position at all.
Yeah, they can't attack in defense position. There's like one card that... No, there's not one card. There's several cards that can do that.
I am ruined, by the way, now, because all I can picture is those stupid puzzles playing the card that just swaps its attack and defense. So obviously that's what you do here and punish the opponent.
But hypothetically, if your opponent does have an attack position monster, you can turn these to attack and crash them into your opponent's monster to get them off the field.
So you just never play a monster. You just lock them out of playing monsters, and then
that's your speed, isn't it? Who needs monsters?
You just wait until you can somehow kill them,
or play burn,
I guess, or mill.
Yeah, or mill.
I mean, yeah. It's a pretty disgusting prison strategy.
Not to mention, so hypothetically, let's say your opponent has 2 monsters on the field right now. If they activate an effect or do something to try to summon a 3rd monster, if you put Ojama Trio on the stack, it will summon the guys, and that effect will basically not resolve.
Oh my god. Gross.
Isn't that fun?
Oh, gross.
Isn't that fun?
I hate it. I hate it. It's like when our many viewers are trying to be productive at work or their life or anything, and then Raren, you, and I all drop a video at the same time, and they can't get any work done. Do people really want to see this on a regular basis?
Great question. You want to see those fun faces on a regular basis?
Those outfits. Oh, I hate this so much. It is the weird cards that got restricted in. It's the weird cards that got hit video. This is a weird card. This qualifies.
This is a very Yu-Gi-Oh card. Yeah, this is a very Yu-Gi-Oh card, I will say. The Ojamas are a recurring archetype as well. They have a bunch of fucking dumb-looking idiots all the time. It's great. They actually have a board wipe. They have their own board wipe.
Isn't this with Ceasefire busted?
They're not considered effect monsters, so it doesn't.
Oh, they're not effect monsters.
Yep,
okay.
tokens are considered.
If they
tokens,
leave, they take 300, huh?
No, because that's not part of their effect. All tokens are considered normal monsters.
You know, this whole board lock thing is like, it reminds me of some stuff in Marble Snap, and like there have been Magic cards. Like Armageddon was a card in the day where you just could lock people out of playing for a while, but they didn't do anything about Armageddon. If this were in Magic. And there was if there was a card, it reminds me of kind of a static orb, which says you can only untap 2 permanents. Is it really that bad?
Is it really that bad?
You can still use your back row. It encourages you to have a diversity of approaches. I think that locking people out of monsters would arguably be worse now than back then. But now I'm sure there are more flexible ways out of it.
So I'll give you a hint here. In modern Yu-Gi-Oh, this card's really bad because since we have so many extra deck mechanics, especially Link monsters specifically,
oh, yeah, sure.
You're giving your opponent 3 Link monsters worth of material for free. That is not good. That is very bad. But in old Yu-Gi-Oh, you didn't have that. All you had was fusion summoning, and ironically, they actually have a fusion monster, which it's called Ojama King. It's very funny.
Does this also, hold on, does this also just lock you out of summons with more than 2 pieces? So it, like, if you're trying to summon something by attributing 2 things, can you just not do it at all?
No, because you'd still have 2 board spaces. So, or like, what do you mean? Like,
so if you're trying to use 2 pieces as material, this is on the field, right?
Yep.
So you have your 3 dorks. Then the other 2 spaces are occupied by 2 pieces, and you want to use those 2 pieces as material for level 8.
I see what you mean.
Can you play the level 8?
Correct. Because you're tributing the 2 other monsters, you have 2 free zones now, so you get to put the level 8 in whatever zone that's not occupied by the trio.
If it just locked you out of like a certain level forever, I could see them doing something about it because like they just didn't want that to happen to their game. They wanted the Timmies to get to play their big flashy things. But I'm still, this is the Weird Band video, so I feel like the meta move would be to say this got limited. But I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. No, I'm gonna say it's fine and that this is kind of one of those traps because I'm sure that there's a way around a lot of this.
The only trap was that you did not say it was restricted because it was.
Should it be? Was it that bad?
So there is a little bit of context you're missing here, and that's fine because I didn't show you everything. So first of all, this card is very annoying in old Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it is kind of hard to clear the tokens. You can't tribute over them, so the only real way you can clear them is put them to attack position and crash into an opponent's monster. However, the decks that played Ojama Trio were typically burn or mill or whatever, and so they wouldn't play monsters. If they did, they would put something in defense position, which you can't crash and kill something if it's in defense position. It doesn't work that way. So, you kind of just had these morons on the field, and you couldn't really do much with them. You could, old Yu-Gi-Oh! Didn't really have board wipes either, because they banned most of them. You couldn't even, like, board wipe yourself to, like, get rid of them. So, there is a card that is similar to Ceasefire. I don't know if I'm ever going to show you this in any other context, so I may as well just show you now. There's another burn card that has a very high threshold for damage, similar to our friend, Ceasefire. Give this a quick read.
Just desserts. It's a trap. Inflict 500 damage for each monster. Yeah.
So this one, unlike Ceasefire, doesn't care if it's an effect monster or a normal monster. So by using the Ojama Trio and giving your opponent the 3 tokens, Just Desserts guarantees 1,500 damage, which is very high for a burn card. And that is assuming they don't have any monsters on the field, because if they do, this can go up to 2,000, possibly 2,500. If you have this card in multiples, they are just going to die. So this is part of like what old Yu-Gi-Oh! Burn was. It was to lock out the opponent from being able to play the game, whether it's through cards like Ojama Trio, Messenger of Peace, etc. And then you play these burn spells that require you to have some setup on the opponent's board or your board to get a huge amount of damage for a singular card.
Honestly, that sounds more, I would say, creative and rewarding than like Burn in Magic, which is I play every card that does 2 or 3 damage to face.
Yeah, I would agree, because like traditional burn decks in Yu-Gi-Oh, this is like what our traditional burn deck is. We don't really have like, oh, there are cards that just go face for damage, but people in the burn decks weren't playing those cards because you get way more returns with cards like Just Desserts and Ceasefire than you do a card that just does 800 and nothing else.
Right. In Magic, that's a combo deck. So like,
right. So it's like a combo burn. It's like combo burn, which is, again, it's kind of cool. Like, it's not just your typical, like you said, like just go 3 face. Like there's like some setup to it involved. And so, it was annoying. It was annoying. And so much so that they actually limited Ojama Trio to a singular copy for quite a long time, as a matter of fact. I think just because it made it so that it was so free to get Just Desserts damage on the board. There's another trap card similar to Just Desserts that doesn't do 500, but it does 200, but it counts every single card on your opponent's field and in their hand. So if they have 5 cards on the field and 5 cards in hand, it'll do 2,000 damage because it's 200 times 10. So Ojama Trio guaranteed 600 damage because you're giving them 3 monsters. And typically they're going to have other stuff on the field and in their hand as well. So again, another high burn damage card. And Ojama Trio helped fuel that. They were kind of just afraid of burn being like really good because it's not necessarily like the most interactive strategy. But surprisingly, this dumb fucking looking card got banned, or not banned, got restricted for, let's find out, shall we? It was actually quite a while. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was, where are the O's? Ojama Trio. It was limited for a while, and then it was at 2 copies all the way up until the end of 2017. It took until 2018 for this card to get fully unrestricted. And now it's bad, which makes sense because I think that's when Link Monsters were released. And Link Monsters make Ojama Trio a terrible card. So, but yeah, like for old Yu-Gi-Oh, pretty good card, which is like crazy to think because this card like reads like a joke. On
the bright side, we didn't have to look at those faces too often.
Well, that is true. Well, yeah, the Ojamas are a
recurring group, though, didn't you?
They are. Do you want to see the king for fun?
No, but
okay. I'm going to anyway. You don't get a choice.
Thanks. I appreciate
it's funny. That. You'll laugh when you actually read what the card does. It's a very short effect too, so it's not going to require too much of you. I might scar you when I show you this. Here you go.
Please don't. Okay. Oh my god. Oh, the legs. Oh, Jesus. No.
Read the effect.
It's nightmare fuel. Select up to 3 of your opponent's monster card zones. As long as this card remains face up on the field, the selected zones cannot be used.
It's Ojama Trio on the monster.
Wow. I love that it doesn't have an attack. Doesn't need one.
Nope. You just wall up with him.
You
just wall up with him. It is. The psychic damage is also dealt. All right. We got a few more. One more monster, one more spell, one more trap.
Reflect Bounder. This is level 4 light, 1700, 1000 defense machine effect. Before damage calculation, if this card is being attacked by an opponent's monster and was in face up attack position at the start of the damage step, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attacking monster's attack. If you do, after damage calculation, destroy this card.
So very simply, if you attack this, you take damage equal to the monster's attack. So let's say it's 1,000, you would take 1,000 damage, and then this guy dies.
Okay, what's wrong with this? What are we doing here?
You tell me.
Basically, the opponent hits themselves, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the blue eyes that attacks this thing does 3,000 damage to its controller.
And then Reflect Bounder dies.
It's just a good card. It's a fine card. It's a level 4 too, so it's like, yeah, you just put this down. It's a defensive option. What's the problem? Well, it doesn't have a once per turn. So can you like reanimate it to block another thing with the tricks from our lethal puzzles? Maybe it's like that. But even then I'm like, is that the problem? And it was in face up attack position at the start of the damage step. I mean, we have a number of cards in Magic, not like a million of them, but we have cards that like if it takes damage, that damage goes back to the opponent. Those cards are real. They're good. They're not terrible, but usually like they even have higher combo like potential. It doesn't even have the floodgate of it has to be from attack damage. It's like any damage dealt to this is redirected, and none of those cards have been banned. We have an aura to give this to any creature, and that's not banned. I see no problem.
Okay.
Why would they get rid of this?
Why would they get rid of
it?
it?
Be bad.
Great question.
If you had 2 or 3 of these on the field, what does that mean for your opponent? If you can keep reanimating and recurring it over and over, it can kind of lock people out of combat, but you just told me that there's still plenty of spell and trap cards to remove things. The discard a card at random guy was totally fine because it was actually really hard to get the combat thing to go through. If that is the meta, the game that we are playing, why do we assume that this gets to interact with the opponent's best creature? What's missing? Is there a way to like give this to your opponent and tag it with a giant thing? Why wouldn't you just attack their face? None of it makes sense. This card, I don't get it. This card seems like just a normal card. I ain't got it. That means it must be hit. It must be, or it wouldn't be in this video. It absolutely must be. But on principle, I can't. On principle, I can't do it. Card's fine.
And this is the second time your principles have gone against you. Reflect Bounder was limited for a year.
Why?
Great question. This card's bad. I don't know why.
Thank you. I would rather be right in principle, to be honest.
So I'll say this. I don't want to say this card's bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. The 1700 stat line on a non-tribute monster was above average, I would say. Also, specifically during this time, light and dark were the best attributes. And honestly, modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Still kind of like that too. Light and dark have historically been the best attributes in old Yu-Gi-Oh! For certain cards that require them. And Reflect Bounder in old Yu-Gi-Oh! Good light monsters were kind of few and far between. And Reflect Bounder was like kind of the worst best light monster that it's like, okay, you played the few that you knew were really good. And then you're like, I need a few more light monsters. And Reflect Bounder kind of just filled that slot because, like, there was nothing really better than it, even though it's not great. The dumbest part about Reflect Bounder is that you can attack into it with something smaller than 1700, and it'll still blow itself up. And that's why this card kind of sucks. You can kind of just, like, play around it pretty easily and just not take a ton of damage from it and still make it die. It was like an okay card. I don't know why they ever restricted this, to be honest with you. Like, it is baffling to me that this card ever got hit, but here we are.
I think I showed you this in our Duskmorn episode, but I'm not positive.
You taking over the video?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you did show me this. Yes.
Yeah, this is what this card reminds me of, and I think Screaming Nemesis is so much better.
Oh, it is 100%.
Oh my god. And yeah, it's not nobody's talking about banning this card right now. It's absolutely killing it in both standard and bigger formats. But so I can't help but look at Reflect Bounder and be like, dude, you got a long ways to go. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, no, it was people were just a bunch of babies, I guess. I'm sure someone at Konami just got like domed for like 3,000 from this, and then just like it was like, all right, let's limit this card. Everyone is baffled why this card got restricted. It is just like, if you're not terrible at the game, this card is awful. So that's why I made it into the video.
Awesome. Amazing. That's a Dingus right there.
Oh, that's a Dingus.
Full Dingus.
It is a full Dingus.
That, in my opinion, is the most Dingus you've shown me.
Oh, just wait till you see this next one.
Reversal Quiz. Spell card. Send all cards in your hand and on your side of the field to the graveyard. Oh, good.
Great start, huh?
Call the type of card, spell, trap, or monster on top of your deck. If you call it right, exchange your current life points with your opponent's current ones.
That's some good English right there.
Your opponent's current ones. Is that their life points?
Yep, their current life points.
Nuke yourself.
Yep.
Play a random guessing game.
Uh-huh.
If you win, the opponent gets your life points.
And you get theirs.
There was a card long ago in Magic called Mirror Universe. And I believe I've shown it to you.
I don't think you showed me that. That does not sound
Okay.
familiar.
Mirror Universe is a card that is unplayable. But it's a 6-mana artifact, and at the beginning of your upkeep, so you have to play it on your turn and then go to the next upkeep, you can choose to swap life totals with an opponent. This card was a win condition in the day, like way back in the day when control, like when creatures really sucked and there wasn't a way to end the game.
Huh, interesting. Okay.
So what you would do, and this was a function of the rules. Trust me, I'm going somewhere with this. The rules were that if you went to 0 or below during a turn, you had till the end of the phase to recover.
What?
So, yes. So if I went to 0 or -1 or to -100, I still had till the end of my phase to get back to above 0.
That was a
Dying.
rule?
That was old Magic rules, yes.
Really?
So,
interesting. Okay.
That is why Mirror Universe was a win con. And also at the time, mana burn was real, which meant if you tapped a land but didn't use the mana, you took a damage. What you could do back in the day was mana burn yourself to 0 or less, activate Mirror Universe, swap life totals, then go to end of phase and you win.
Interesting.
So I am guessing that's not the rules in Yu-Gi-Oh! That's from
It is
your
not.
reaction about going below 0?
It is not.
Oh my god. Dude, there was some fun combo decks that like were non-deterministic loops that required you like time twistering, shuffling your deck and drawing 7 over and over. That would like you would be negative on life, but you would be trying to find the combo to dig out with these non-deterministic loops that were very exciting back in the day. It was one of the things I loved about old Magic, but very stupid rules. So if that's not in there, I'm guessing maybe there's a different combo, but I'm guessing exchanging your current life points with your opponents. Was there a way to kill them with that? Could you exchange them 0?
You can't exchange them to 0.
You could exchange them to 100 or something, probably,
Correct.
but not 0.
Correct.
Okay. So if you send all cards in your hand and your side of the field to the graveyard, maybe if one left the battlefield, it dealt damage to a target. Is that a combo?
Interesting. Interesting you say that, CGB. Let me show you this card.
Sniffing around.
He's sniffing.
Feel like I smell
this a
something
read.
stinky.
Give this a read.
Fuama Shuriken spell card. Does that continue? No, it's not continuous.
It's an
What is
equip.
that? Equip.
So it's like an enchantment aura.
I remember. All right. Equip only to a ninja. It gains 700 attack. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, inflicts 700 to your opponent. Okay, so cards like this. So maybe you have a way to pay a bunch of life, or cards that when they leave the battlefield cost you a bunch of life.
How else you said you
And
this?
Black Pendant is the equipped monster gains 500 attack. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, inflict 500 to your opponent. There's still not enough room on the field to get enough of these to one-shot the opponent, so there still has to be like another plan, but that's doable. These are both spells, so this could be an all-spell deck to guarantee that you're going to hit. The opponent attacks you a bunch of times.
No more help?
Okay. Archfiend's Oath. Once per turn, you may pay 500 life points. Then declare one card name. Excavate the top card of your deck. If it's the declared card, add it to your hand. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. Okay, so let me read this again. Call the type of card on top of your deck. So you do have to reveal it. Like, you have to look at the top card.
Yep, you reveal it.
Okay, so you know what your top card is. Does that matter with this?
And then here's your last
this
one.
Giant Trunade.
Trunade.
Return all spell and trap cards on the field to the hand. That's fine. Send all cards in your hand and on your side of the field to the graveyard. When it's put from field to graveyard. When it's sent to from the field to the graveyard. The Giant Trunade, I'm like, what is that one?
Archfiend's Oath is a continuous spell, if that helps you.
So does that mean you can use it again when you play it again?
Ah, very perceptive. Because
so this is how you dig. Oh, okay. So you're playing this, you're using the ability, you're lowering your own life points, and you're digging for your combo piece.
Mm-hmm.
And then you play Reversal Quiz. The opponent takes a bunch of you swap a lower life total. The opponent takes a bunch of damage from these pieces that go. It's all spells, so you know what to call. Is this a one-turn KO?
Maybe.
I guess so it doesn't have to be a one-turn KO. It just has to be early enough in old Yu-Gi-Oh! To feel anticlimactic.
I think that's fair.
It has to
be. It's fair.
It has to be hard to interact with. So how do you interact with this?
Well, I'll let you know in old Yu-Gi-Oh! There were no hand traps, so.
So yeah, you have to somehow negate this spell? I mean, killing the
if
graveyard doesn't really
if your
do it.
opponent's going first, you have no way to do. So
yeah, like graveyard hate doesn't appear to do anything to this.
Well, and even then, if they're doing this on their first turn, you have zero way to interact.
Yeah, and I'm saying even if like by turn 3 or whatever, they still can't do anything about it. Like you can't, like a hand, like going after their hand is kind of forbidden. If you had a Thoughtseize, it would be very good against this deck, but you don't.
Sure. Yeah, so, like at best you'd have to negate Reversal Quiz.
Yeah, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't built for this. At first this looks like the worst card of all time, and then you get a few pieces and you're like, wait a minute, and you can build in such a way to abuse, then all of a sudden you have a deck and one that can win on turn 1. So
you want some more help?
I mean, just because apparently we're turning this into a Reversal Quiz deck video, why not?
Sure. There you go.
Let's do it. It's probably not going to talk me out of what I want to do to this. Convulsion of Nature. Wow, this is cool. As long as this card remains face up on the field, both players must turn their respective decks upside down and proceed with the current duel. Why would that matter?
Read Archfiend's
Oath. To turn their deck upside down. Okay. So in my head, upside down was actually turning it around to face the opposite direction.
Oh,
You're
no.
saying flip it over and play with the top card revealed?
Correct.
So you know the top card.
And you might want to read the second line of Reversal Quiz as well.
Oh, yeah. You have to call the top card, right? And if you call it right, exchange life points. Yeah. So that makes sure that you call it right. Although everything here is a spell. Oh, do you have to name it? Do you have to name exactly? No, it's called a type of card.
For Reversal Quiz, it's type. For Archfiend's Oath, it's the exact name.
For Oath, it's the exact name. Okay. Yep. All right. No, I got it. Yeah. I mean, I see. This
cool combo, huh?
Combo deck. Oh, I'm sure it was the first several times, and then you're in eternal format. So this is for the rest of your life. You have to deal with this.
I'm going to show you a card too that you're going to love. Here, read this or read as well.
Somehow this turned into evaluating a whole deck, and I'm kind of here for it. Royal Magical Library. It's a level 4 monster. Uh-oh. Can't put that in this deck, can we? The defense is 2,000, the attack is 0. Each time a spell card is activated, place 1 spell counter on this card when the spell resolves. You can remove 3 counters to draw 1 card. Yeah, that's getting close to like the commander vibe of like just the very typal adherence of commander decks that create engines out of these cards that are like whenever you play an instant or sorcery or a creature or an artifact or an enchantment, draw a card. Those are really popular in commander, and obviously that would be busted in Yu-Gi-Oh, but this is going for it. Like this is trying to get there. So it's a card drawing machine. And I guess now that we do have ways to see our top card with Convolution of Nature, we can get away with some amount, probably a very small amount of creatures. So yeah, this is an Eternal format. This combo interacts on a different axis. Like I said, it's a hard one to hate. So
yeah, we've got cool combos in our game.
You do. In Magic, like the alarm bells go off for a deck when you can't actually interact with it the way that you typically could. Nadu's a good example where it's like, oh, okay, so you're telling me if I target it, I'm only helping them. And like targeted removal is something we really lean on to deal with decks that get out of hand, you know, that kind of thing. Or Storm. Storm is probably the most broken mechanic in Magic, and it's because it adds all of the Storm stuff to the stack, which means one counter spell only stops the tiniest bit of the problem, not the whole thing. So yeah, that's where stuff breaks. This seems tough to interact with too in early Yu-Gi-Oh! It only had to piss somebody off enough times. Yeah, this combo looks nasty. So if you did all this, if this was the longest trail of breadcrumbs just to tell me it's totally fine and this deck sucks, I'll take that bait. This at least wins the game. So yes, let's say this got hit in early Yu-Gi-Oh! Because why not?
This card's fine.
Is it true?
Yep.
Okay, is this deck bad?
I don't want to say it's bad. It's just not consistent enough, let's say. This was a very popular early combo in old Yu-Gi-Oh! That people figured out. And I basically showed you all the pieces of it. Convulsion of Nature shows you the top card. Archfiend's Oath is a soft once per turn. So if you have multiple copies, you can just name every card off the top of your deck because you can see it, get it to your hand, Giant Trunade them all back, play them again, just keep drawing cards and lowering your life total. Finally, Reversal Quiz, you declare the top card because you know what it is, swap your life points, and then you set either Fuma Shuriken or Black Pendant or multiple, and then you just burn your opponent for the remainder because after the resolution of Reversal Quiz, the Shuriken and the Pendant trigger upon going to the graveyard and just kill your opponent. There was no way to interact with this in old Yu-Gi-Oh! There was no hand traps. That's not true. There was one hand trap, but it did not do anything because it was a battle hand trap. And if your opponent was playing this deck and the rest of the cards in this deck are just all draw cards that are really bad. But it's fine because this is what you're trying to achieve. The thing is, it just wasn't consistent enough. Like sometimes you would just draw hands that were like unplayable because you would draw like too many shurikens or pendants or different things like that. So it's like if you pulled it off, it was really fucking funny. And if you didn't, no one was surprised because it just wasn't consistent enough. So as a result of it just not being consistent enough, they never touched Reversal Quiz. It was totally fine. Giant Trunade was restricted to a singular copy at some point, and I think that definitely hurt this deck's consistency quite a bit. That's the only like real hit this deck suffered. But honestly, that was probably enough because you couldn't bounce all your Archfiend's Oaths multiple times to lower your life points. You had to find like other ways to do it. So, yeah, I mean, cool deck, but it's fine.
That's brutal, I feel like, because I don't know if we've had another thing where you said to me it didn't have enough consistency.
It's I mean, it's funny, it's Yu-Gi-Oh, but in this case, you're not tutoring for tutoring. Everything in this deck is just drawing cards, and you're really just hoping that really, if you don't have Royal Magical Library, this deck can suffer because Royal Magical Library helps kind of mitigate some of the fact that some of these cards don't provide any card advantage. And so if you're activating a bunch of these cards, then Royal Magical Library kind of makes up for it. And it's like, if you get Library, usually you can do the combo. And if you don't get Library, you can, but it's a lot less likely you're going to pull it off. So Royal Magical Library was like kind of the choke point of this deck. If you can like stop it in any way, like then they kind of just lose. But yeah, just a dumb combo deck that someone figured out, and yeah, that's the story of Reversal Quiz.
But was emergency provisions not fine?
Apparently not. Apparently, you know what? They should have used emergency provisions to get their life points up. After Reversal Quiz.
Guess
yeah.
so. There you
guess
go.
So. Guess so.
That's what we had to prevent. That's what we couldn't let happen.
Last one.
Magic Cylinder. Trap. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, target the attacking monster, negate the attack, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its attack.
That's it.
Okay. I mean, if the whole origin of the game was built around Blue Eyes, and you have 3 of this in your deck, and you just negate the Blue Eyes attack 3 times and the opponent dies, they're probably so salty. They're probably so angry. I mean, it's good in a burn deck. We talked about rate, That could be a very high rate. Like,
Conditional, but yeah.
Like a mid monster, this is one card that gains you its health, and they take like what, 15, 18. Like that's a small monster, right? That's not.
Oh,
even
you don't
like
gain the
something that
life,
they tributed summoned.
They just
you,
take
you
damage.
do in a way, right?
Yeah, like you do because you're
you don't take
fading.
the
You're
damage.
fading the attack. You're fading the attack. Yeah.
I mean, that adds to that burn strategy, which apparently people were so afraid of.
This card was also very popular in the anime.
I mean, I can see why it's annoying. I don't think this is a very good card. We have had cards since the beginning in Magic, like Eye for an Eye and reverse damage. This is very similar to
How literal.
that were totally fine.
Reverse damage.
Yeah, it's just very straightforward. Deflecting Palm later. I mean, they don't even make cards like that anymore because nobody plays them. Everybody learned how to play around them. Can I picture a world where this made people mad? Yeah, but like comparing this to Magic cards, which I should have done on a lot of the ones I got wrong here, is like no card like this, I think, has had to be hit in Magic. And this is the Weird Ban episode, which tells me you're gonna tell me this was a problem. But I said,
or maybe
before,
it's fine.
No, I'm gonna keep dying on principle, dude. It's like I'm gonna go with. I will die on the principle hill. There's no way this can be that bad. There's no way.
Okay.
This card's fine.
Final answer.
Yeah.
Magic Cylinder was restricted for a long time. Why? Because people are babies. Woo! Yeah, Cylinder was restricted until it was restricted basically on release, as a matter of fact.
Oh my god!
Yep, it was released in 2003, so it's one of the first cards printed. I think it was in the like 7th or 8th set, something like that. And it was basically restricted on the next list that came out, and it was restricted for 7 years.
Jesus. Am I wrong? Is this good?
No, but it's funny. It's very funny. It's very funny. Even to this day,
Dingus.
even to this day, this is your Dingus. Even to this day,
oh my god.
if you're playing up against like noobs on Master Duel or something like that, they might have Magic Cylinder and it can lose you the game. Like just straight up, like if you have less than 3,000 life points and you attack with a 3,000 attack point monster and they cylinder it, you're fucked. Like you just lose.
When you lose, you lose.
Yep. And funny enough, this card has actually gotten like legacy support. There's like cards that search it now, which is funny. Not that anyone's playing Magic Cylinder. In old Yu-Gi-Oh, it was kind of defensible to play. Like you kind of hit the nail on the head. It is a very good burn card because, like you said, it negates an attack and it does the damage back. So it's very good in that respect. But even if you weren't playing burn, there was kind of an argument to play it in the retro format, the Edison format. There's kind of a discussion as to whether or not you should play Magic Cylinder. It's limited in that format. People kind of talk about it because it's like it negates an attack and you do a lot of damage back to your opponent. And some people have actually like topped or won tournaments with this card in their deck, both in the old days and in like modern Edison era. Just because of the fact that it is a way to like steal games if your opponent is not prepared for it. And not to mention that if you're playing a very aggressive like aggro deck, Magic Cylinder is just a way to do more damage. And at a premium rate on top of it, because like your average attacker is going to be like 1,800 plus. So you're doing a quarter of their life points back to them and fading an attack. And there are cards in Edison format specifically that people play that like just negate attacks. So it's not like that's an uncommon thing in that format. So, yeah, people have played it. And this is like very much also a playground card where people would just like dome someone for like 4,000 and it would be the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, so very much another playground card. That
very much a playground card, but also like actually a good playground card, I will say. So, this one's so funny to me because like on the surface, this card is awful, but like there's actually some merit to it. So.
Oh my god.
You got cooked this video. I'm not going to lie.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You got cooked.
I've never been more proud to be more cooked.
I mean, to be fair, you died on your hill of card design. And so I admire that you were so stubborn enough to do that.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And I got like a couple legit wrong where I was just off on the analysis, but seriously, guys.
God, we might have to do part 2. I had like a whole giant list of stuff I could do for this. So there is a lot more Dingus eggs buried in Yu-Gi-Oh than you might think.
Careful to start a war. You might be surprised how many more I have as well.
So guys, that's going to wrap it up for another video. I really hope you all enjoyed. Let's go ahead and shout out the patrons for all of their continued support. So shout out to Shadow1317, Tim00x3, MBT Play Madolce, Moto, Cameron L. Smith, The Synchro Guy, Pony Stark, Little Fadeleaf, Dan the Man Hoban, Draconic, Daniel Howell, Brian Denser of Class 7, Dylan Rare Hunter, JW11860, Flannel Daddy, literally all of the guinea pigs, MBT canceled by a community soon, canceled by all committees soon, canceled by all players soon, MBT and Nimnim's one Boxer Brief Fueled Night of Passion, Electrician of the Ice Barrier, The Nova129, Chris Adams, and Pink Frappe. Thank you again so much, and we will see you next time.